Morning, everybody. What's going on? KSA Kris here, Real Estate Blitz. Got a really cool question in, so I figured I'd hit it up real quick because I actually have a list. A lot of people keep writing me and ask me to do different ones. So first off, I'm going to start off bringing on a buddy of mine, and anything that's going to be like lending money, how to purchase, he's going to be helping me out. He's going to start doing some videos with me. And I got another buddy of mine who's like, all he does is social media type marketing stuff. He's going to be helping me out as well. So we should be putting on better content, more content here soon enough. But today, one of the big questions that was asked was, young real estate agent, a millennial, doesn't have a whole lot of money. How do you get listings as a young millennial? Now, I usually avoid topics like this, and it's just because there's so much stuff that's already out there. Tom Ferry puts out a ton of stuff. There's just all sorts of things. So I guess I want to be sure that I answer the question, so I'm going to answer it the best way that I can based off of our experience, which is what I usually try to do with the Blitz. Not something that I'm rehashing from somebody else. It's actually what we've actually implemented. When we started in this business, the market that we came into, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before, the market we came into, it's a much older generation of real estate agents. We were not liked. We were told often, you guys, you won't make it, you don't get it. And then, when we started having some success, he says, well, you can't do that. It sucked. I still have a lady to this day. Every time I go to Caravan, she goes out of her way to come and find me. And she tells me, I've been in the business for 30-something years. I mean, every time. And then continues to try to tell me how we're doing it all wrong. And then usually I just answer her with, oh, okay, so we're doing it all wrong. How many deals did you do last year? She did like 3. It's just irritating. Anyways, I'll get over my own issues, I guess, insecurities. So how did we get started? When we started in this business, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't really know what we were doing. We had some experience on the investor side. We'd been doing that for a long time, but we didn't do any retail. Kim Steele is my wife, and she was my inside sales agent. She basically did all the investing. She was a real estate agent for all the investing stuff. But I mean, outside of that, we were way out of our element. We had never done retail before, and we just sort of jumped at it. And I'm going to tell you, so we go to our broker, and we ask our broker, how do we get listings? Same question that this guy asked me today. And our broker at the time told us, and we actually tried it in a different variation. He said, if you get some water, and you buy some donut holes. And I think I mentioned this, and I will never forget this story, man, because it was just the goofiest thing. And I was like, there's got to be a better way than standing out on the corner like a prostitute, begging people for a listing. The other ones that I've heard. And here's the thing, we've tried them. In the beginning, we tried it all. So I'll tell you all the stuff that we tried in the beginning, and then I'll tell you what we actually did that really started killing it for us. So we tried the door knocking. And here's the thing, I've watched videos. I have a buddy of mine, that's all he does is he door knocks. Kills it. Does a great job. Wasn't really for us. We tried flyers and doors. We tried all sorts of different things. So what did we do? We didn't have $0. Now the guy that asked me the question, he says, if I have $0, I'll get to $0. $0 is something a little bit different. But if you have a little bit of money, here are the things that we did that worked out extremely well. The first one that we did, this is a personality-driven thing, but I would highly recommend for anybody, even if you hate it, if you are not cold calling, you need to cold call. That's how we built our business. We built our business on the internet and cold calling. That's exactly how we built it. So I went out, I got Red X. There's better systems out there. One of them being Vulcan 7. Vulcan 7 is fantastic. I've used Vulcan 7 before. I still use Red X just because, I don't know, I'm just used to it. And Red X has always done right by us. So if you sit down and call, in the beginning I was calling about 4 or 5 hours a day. I was awful. I was horrible. I failed often. But I think it's one of those things where if you work scripts and you continue to refine who you are, what you're saying, and what your message is, it's a numbers game. So when I was younger, And I asked my dad, how do I kiss a girl? This may be a little personal, but it's true. I asked my dad, I was really young, and I says, I want to kiss a girl. How do I kiss a girl? And first off, if you're watching this and you've never kissed a girl, and you want advice on how to kiss a girl, this is not the advice to listen to. Second off, why are you watching real estate stuff? Good on you, I guess. So anyways, I asked my dad, how do I kiss a girl? And my dad has a very odd sense of humor. He says, well, you walk up to a girl and you say, will you kiss me? And odds are good she might slap you. But I tell you what, if you keep asking girls if they'll kiss you, one of those girls eventually will kiss you. Then you need to sit down and figure out how many girls did you have to get slapped by before one of them actually turned around and kissed you. If the answer is 20 and you want to kiss 2 girls, you got to ask 40 girls to kiss you. So again, bad advice from my dad, but at the end of the day, it's sort of how cold calling works. You have to say, I'm going to be willing to make X number of calls, whatever those number of calls are, until I get somebody that's going to schedule an appointment with me. After you figure that out, then you look at how many people did I actually have to call, how many people did I have to verbally contact and talk to in order to get to that number, and then double it. If you want 2 listings, you got to double that. You got to double that effort. We started with cold calling. We still do. We do it a little bit differently now. Excuse me. I have my drink today. I need to get a sponsorship by AMP, by the way. I drink way too many of those. So cold calling, it's extremely inexpensive. If you invest, I think it's like $150. It's $100. It's like $100. If you invest $100 a month, I promise you, if you grind and grind and grind on that cold calling and you keep refining it, the first 500 calls are going to be awful. But once you get into a routine, you're going to be getting listings. You'll get, your first month if you really do it every day consistently. Because I've told you on multiple videos, secret to success, you're doing good actions consistently over an extended period of time. If you do that, you're going to get 4 deals in your first month. It's really not that hard. It's just a process. We have a guy that's just north of us. He's actually in our brokerage, Christian Stone. He's been a single agent for a while. He just recently, I think his wife is a buyer's agent. He just brought on another buyer's agent. But he cold calls every day from 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock. And he usually pushes, anywhere from 10 to 15 new listings every month just from cold calling. So it works. It works. Okay, so if I don't have a lot of money, what else could I be doing? Some people say, oh, jump on the internet. I don't believe that. I think the internet, when you talk about social media, things like that, that's something that takes time. And you can do paid advertising, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to spend some money until you figure it out unless somebody really sits down and shows you. There's a lot of great programs out there. There's a lot of coaching programs that will talk about social media. We taught ourselves social media over a long period of time, and we've gotten really good at it. So I don't think social media is really the answer. However, I'm going to tell you one other little unique thing. I'm wondering, I might run over into the other office and find it. But what we did, we went to Vistaprint. So let me bounce this off you. We went to Vistaprint and we created these really simple business cards, right? I might run in the other office and grab it real quick, but we created business cards and it was bold, it was in your face, and it basically said, want to sell your house, and then left the phone number. That was it. This was before we had a website. And then when we had a website, we put the website on the back. Because again, we didn't have any money in the beginning. We went to instead of going door knocking and door to door and all that other walking, we actually started going out. And by the way, I'm going to put this out there. I don't know if this is legal. I'm just telling you what we did. We went out to malls. We went out to malls in our local area. We went out to strip malls. We went out to big malls. We went out to giant parking areas. And we started putting those cards in everybody's window. Looking to sell, looking to buy, buy a house, sell a house, whatever. And we started putting, they were bold colors, and that's kind of what made us transition into a lot of the bold colors that we use now. We started putting those in everybody's windows, just little business cards. They were super cheap. Got them from Vistaprint, for like a bazillion. You aren't spending that much money. For like $100, you can cover a lot of parking lots. And we went out and started doing that. Actually, it was funny looking back. My dad was actually running around out in these parking lots and actually putting these cards in people's windows. God bless him, so he could help us out. But that's something that we did that was, very, very little money to actually get going. So now, to answer the question that was asked, if I had zero money, if I had zero money and I was trying to get listings, what would I do? So first off, here's my concern. If you have $0 and you're trying to go out and get listings, it's sort of like when I talk about buying houses with $0. It's a dangerous concept, in my opinion. Does it work? Yeah, there are things that you could be doing to buy a house with $0, but if you don't have any money, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that. Without using your own money, but you have money, that's a different thing. But you don't have any money and you're trying to go out there and buy houses, I think that's dangerous. If you're taking listings with $0, I think that's dangerous as well, and let me tell you why. In order to get more listings in the future, it's not just about right now. It's about the other people that you're going to sit in front of. You need to be able to have something that you could provide them that's going to be unique, the unique identifier that's in your market. That's that this is you, this is how you do it, and show how you're going to provide your service. You know, for us, we do quality photos. We actually we have 3 different photographers that we rotate depending on the style of the house. We do video work. So if you look at the Kim Steele & Associates page, you see the different videos that we do of every house that we list. Well, not all of them, most of them, because we give people an option for like, whoa, I want to negotiate my percentage. Good. Then what do you want to get rid of? And usually it's the video that ends up going first, and that's fine. So we're going to do video work, we're going to do photo work, we're going to do some online stuff, but we're going to be marketing that property. The way I look at listings is we're investing in something. When we pick up a listing, we're investing into that property to get that property sold. We've gotten to a point, in the beginning we weren't like this, but we've gotten to a point where if we can't sell the house, we don't take the listing. I have this wonderful guy, we went on an interview about a week and a half ago. And he's reached out to me almost every day since and trying to renegotiate where he wants to list the house. And I just basically told him he wanted to list the house $100,000 over what it's worth. And we're just not going to take that listing. Why would we? If I'm going to invest, so it's $200 for photos, it's going to be $375 for video. On social media alone, we're going to drop probably another $300 to $600 depending on the type of property, the price at that price point, because that one was $700. He wants to list it for $775,000. We thought we would be pushing it, and we were overpriced to begin with at $725. It really needs to be at $675, but the market is in a huge upswing here. But with the amount of inventory, we're going to be spending a lot of money in order to try to get this property sold. So it's one of those things where it doesn't make sense. Now, in the beginning, thank you. Sorry, somebody just walked in the office. Appreciate it. Okay. In the beginning, you may feel the need, and we did, to take any listing you can get your hands on, even if it's overpriced. And let me tell you why we did it. Not saying you shouldn't, but I'll tell you why we did it. Because I think it's important when you look at why we invest into a property. Every property that we actually pick up as a listing and we put money into, these are my expectations. I'm expecting that we're at a minimum going to get one buyer. And honestly, if you're grinding on that house, you're going to get multiple buyers. So we always do a mega open house, a huge launch. We actually do it on purpose. We launch a house. We got a few that are launching this week. So we're going to get buyers right there. We're also going to get people that are coming in through our social media because we're doing a lead capture site with our property and launching it out. When we do blasts out on Facebook, and this is not even... So there's 2 parts. You can do a blast, or you can do a, and I'll tie this back in on how you can get listings when you have nothing. So we'll do a blast on Facebook, or we'll actually do paid advertising through our business page, and that's going to bring in, usually that'll bring in about 25 new buyer lead captures per week just off of that. So that's a couple hundred buyers, or about 100 buyers per month. So if you don't have any buyers, that's how you can get buyers right there. We're going to get buyers. And the odds are good if we market that property around that area. So circle prospecting. If you don't know what circle prospecting, Google it. We're going to get another listing. So usually we expect to get 1 listing and 1 buyer. We're going to get 2 more deals off of that 1 deal. In the beginning, we realized that to be truth, we speculated that would be truth. And we were right. So we took some listings that were overpriced. We took some listings that we knew would probably expire. And we did our damnedest to get them sold, but there was a few that just didn't sell. That's how it goes sometimes. We worked really hard to try though. So a lot of the key is, in my opinion, it's not really trying to find something that's zero down. It's really trying to maximize what you got. So if I had $0 and I had 0 listings, I'm a brand new agent, I don't know nothing. What I would do is I would leverage what the brokerage has done, or I would ask other people in the brokerage that are producing, can I market your property? And we still do it. I still ask other agents. I have our assistant do it now, but I have our assistant call around to other agents that have properties, and we ask them, can we market your properties to get them sold? Now it's a lot easier outside of the brokerage, and most of the people we ask, they're people in markets where we want to be, but we'll reach out to them and say, can we market your property to get it sold? Because they know who we are and they've heard about us, they usually answer yes, because they see us all over the place online. I got a message out of the blue from this guy. He was searching something. He says, look what I found, and it's our advertising and stuff online. I would take those properties. If you have Red X or something like that, I would circle prospect around that property. And if you don't know what circle prospecting is, Google it. It's fantastic. Next, I would go out into that neighborhood. I would create a flyer and say, look at what we did. Our brokerage. Look at what our brokerage did for your neighbor. And you can knock on doors and do that. But you could do yellow letters. I'm a big fan of yellow letters. So we have a process. When we used to do it consistently, we just don't really have to do it much anymore. In the beginning we did. But I would sit down and I would handwrite I had a template of a yellow letter. Guess what we did for your neighbor? We just sold it, blah, blah, blah. And I would write out this yellow letter, handwrite it. I would put it into an envelope, and then I would hit 10 across the left, 10 across the right, and 20 across the street, the 10, 10, and 20. And I would hit all of that house's neighbors, all that home's neighbors. Then I would follow up with a yellow letter, or a white letter, which is like a business letter, an actual typed out, really professional, hand-signed letter. I would send that out. And then I would send out some type of, if it's sold or whatever the situation was. But you can market your brokerage's just listed properties. You can market the ones that have been on the market for a while. You can market the ones that are sold if your broker will let you. Excuse me. Even if your broker says yes, I would highly recommend whoever has that listing. Oh my gosh, AMP is getting me. Whoever has that listing, go talk to them. If they're worth their salt, in my opinion, like if anybody asks, Chris, can we market your listings? Yeah. Look, if you can get it sold, that's the whole point. You're a buyer's agent. You're an agent. You're trying to find a buyer. I don't care as long as my listing sells. If you happen to get more business off of that, look, I have a mindset of abundance. There's plenty of deals out here for everybody. You do you. We're going to do us. We're going to keep doing what we do. So that is an option as well. How can you get listings with zero money? Here's another option. So $0 is tough. And I was going to tell you, here's what you can do online. If you don't have a lead capture website or you don't have something, you should probably either explore it. If your brokerage has it for you, usually the brokerages are going to charge you money to get a lead capture website. I know like the brokerage that we're at, they charge the agents like $200 and something if they want their own little landing page within a sync site. We have our own. We're actually standing up 3 more separate sync sites in different markets, but I'm a huge fan. But let's say you got to get on with somebody else and get a lead capture site. You can leverage that site on Facebook and go out and farm people. And then again, it's still just a matter of energy. If you want to know how to do that, hit me up. I have no issues. You can email me. You can call me on my cell phone. I'm pretty easy. But long story short, if you haven't figured it out, trying to get listings with $0, it's tough. And my biggest concern with getting listings for $0 is, are you going to be able to provide a service to that listing when I just told you photo work is probably going to be about $200 just to get quality photos. To go ahead and market that property, if you want to do it above and beyond, it's going to cost more. Now in the beginning we didn't have no money, so we just paid for photos and then we were grinding on that property. But eventually you need to set that money aside so you can provide better services, because that's going to help you lock down more appointments. When you walk in and you know you have a 90+% close rate because of what you're providing and nobody else can or will, you're going to kill it. So this is a tough one. I'm going to sit down and come up with some more ideas on what I think somebody could do, and I'd probably talk about it again. But I think I put a couple really good nuggets in this one that might be able to help you out. If you have any, if you're watching this and you have recommendations, throw it out there. If you have questions about the things that I've said, hit me up. Do me a favor, as always, like, share, comment. Go check out my Facebook page. All you got to do is type in the Real Estate Blitz in Facebook. If you're watching the Facebook page, on the Facebook page, go check out the YouTube channel. You can type in the Real Estate Blitz into Google. It'll pop up. And, just keep on watching. I appreciate everybody. Be sure to put in some comments too. All right. Have a good one. Appreciate you. KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz.